The mega-hit sitcom The Cosby Show that aired from 1984 to 1992 focused on the Huxtables, an upper-middle-class Black American family living in Brooklyn, New York. The series was based on routines in Bill Cosby's stand-up comedy act, which in turn were based on his family life. But as funny as the show was, it did get serious at times. Here are 10 moments when The Cosby Show was more serious than funny. Theo and the Joint, Season 1, Episode 17. In this episode, it's revealed that Theo is a hardcore stoner. Just kidding. But his mother does find something concerning in his geography book.
I came in here and I accidentally knocked Theo's book off the table.
Yeah.
And found this.
Both of his parents confront him about it. He insists that it's not his, and guess what? They believe him. So that should be the end of it, right? Wrong. Theo feels that the incident will now make his parents look down on him, so the next day, he goes to school on a mission to find out who the joint actually belonged to. It turns out that one of his classmates, named Braxton, decided to slip it into Theo's book to conceal it when the teacher walked into the room, since he didn't bring his own book. After almost coming to blows, Theo gets Braxton to come to his home to tell his parents face-to-face that the joint was his, clearing Theo's name once and for all. Denise's Friend, Season 2, Episode 11. Denise arranges a doctor appointment with her father for her friend Michelle, played by Stacey Dash.
I have a friend, and she's a really good person. She's really smart and everything, but I think there's something wrong with her. You know, physical.
Michelle's not been feeling well for the past month, but doesn't want to see her family doctor for fear of the news that she's sexually active getting back to them. She turns out to have a mild bladder infection that's easily treatable. Cliff organizes a family meeting for him and Claire to reassure their kids that while they will probably get upset about whatever trouble the kids get themselves into, they want them to feel comfortable enough to tell them anything. Close to Home, Season 2, Episode 20. A friend of Cliff's, Dr. Dan Morgan, played by Samuel E. Wright, stops by to help plan a fundraiser. However, he becomes overwhelmed with emotion after seeing the positive interaction between Claire and Denise.
Cliff, you got a beautiful family.
Yeah?
Don't ever take it for granted.
Seeing them together reminds him of how he wishes things could be between his wife and their daughter, who is Denise's age. Dan ultimately reveals to Cliff that his daughter is battling a drug and alcohol addiction. The two men have an intense heart-to-heart as Dan gets everything about the situation off his chest. The Shower, Season 3, Episode 19. Denise hosts a bridal shower for her friend Veronica, played by Leela Rashawn. During the festivities, Veronica, needing a break, seeks out Denise's room. Denise finds her and the two have a private chat. It's revealed in this moment that Veronica is also pregnant. She confesses to Denise that she and her fiancé planned the pregnancy, contrary to Denise believing that it was an in-the-heat-of-the-moment mistake. Veronica justifies everything by insisting that getting pregnant was the only way her parents would agree to her getting married now, instead of after she graduated college. Plus, they had a plan, but it's not working out the way they thought it would.
Denise, I can't get a decent job without a college degree. And Jim had to drop out of school to work full-time, and he hasn't found a job yet. We don't have any money at all. Denise, everything's falling apart.
Denise lets her mother in on what Veronica told her and gets an earful from Claire, explaining the full impact of Veronica's decision on her family and how Denise can continue to be a good friend without taking on other people's problems. Cliff's 50th birthday, Season 3, Episode 20. In addition to a special lunch with his children, Cliff also has an adult party at night with several close friends to celebrate his milestone birthday. Claire, though, appears to have an issue with one of the guests in particular, Mark Etten, played by Douglas Turner Ward. Later, we find out that Claire's animosity toward Mark is linked to the reason why he and his ex-wife, who is a good friend of Claire's, split up.
Now, you did something that I cannot easily forgive.
Look, I'm not denying it. I cheated on Margie.
Yes, you did.
And I'm sorry for what I did. I was wrong. I hurt her.
Yes, you did.
When I realized what I had done, I was never sorrier in my life.
After their talk, Claire agrees to work on repairing their friendship. Theogate, Season 4, Episode 2. It's crazy that Theo actually believed that he was going to get over on his sharp-as-a-tack attorney mother. But anywho, one day he and best friend Cockroach come home unusually late from a track meet. On any other day, that probably wouldn't have been a big deal, but Theo specifically needed to be on time as the family had planned to go see Vanessa acting in her school play that evening. While Theo and Cockroach both deny anything out of the ordinary happened to cause their lateness, Claire knew that wasn't the case. Over the next several days, Theo does the most to make sure he covers his tracks. Then Claire, determined to get to the bottom of things, holds a mock trial against Theo and Cockroach. In the end, Theo finally reveals that the reason they were late was that he got caught fat-shaming one of the employees at Circus Burger, the fast food restaurant that the track team always visits to get something to eat after a meet.
Well, there was this girl behind the counter, and she was kind of overweight. And Cockroach and I were making jokes about her. But we didn't think she could hear us. But some other guys on the team started laughing, so we started telling more jokes. And by the time we got to the front of the line, she was crying. I guess she overheard us.
After the confession and Claire's advice on telling the truth from the beginning to avoid future drama, Theo promises to go back to the restaurant to apologize to the girl. Theo's Gift, Season 6, Episode 5. Theo's got an exam on mythology coming up, and he knows he's gonna ace it. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen.
We got our mythology exam back today. Guess what I got? A C. Another one of my lousy C's. Mom, I'm sick of killing myself for loser grades.
He's especially upset about it because he studied hard and he knew the material inside out. After talking to his parents about it, they accompany him to his appointment with a learning specialist who tells them that Theo may have dyslexia. After running some tests and getting the confirmation that he does, in fact, have dyslexia, Theo changes his study habits and his grades greatly improve, with the help from the specialist and his professors. Cliff's Wet Adventure, Season 6, Episode 9. The time has come for Denise to finally meet Martin's ex-wife Paula, played by Victoria Rowell, face to face. The opportunity presents itself when Paula calls to speak with Olivia from the airport after her departure in New York is delayed, and Denise invites her to join the Huxtables for Thanksgiving dinner taking place that evening. Just before the meal, Denise and Paula sit at the dinner table to have a talk. It's at this time that Paula reveals the truth about why she left Martin and gave him custody of Olivia.
I've spent most of my life looking over my shoulder, and I've always tried to do what everyone wanted me to do.
She goes on to explain how her past life unfolded mainly as a result of all the expectations her parents put on her, including what she majored in college, getting married, and having a child. According to Paula, she went on to turn things around in her life because of Martin's willingness to let her go. Off to See the Wretched, Season 6, Episode 23. Over the years, Vanessa's always pushed the envelope with trying to get away with things she didn't want her parents to know about. But this episode would take the cake. She arranges to spend the night at the house of one of her friends after the rock concert they're attending. Naturally, Cliff and Claire assume that the concert is in New York City, but it's actually in Baltimore, and the girls have planned to drive there and back. The trip, however, ends in disaster as their car, tickets, and spending money are all stolen. After Cliff and Claire find all of this out and retrieve Vanessa in the wee hours of the morning, Claire rages at her over the betrayal of trust and sends her to bed in tears.
And you're down in Baltimore, having big fun. Weren't you, Vanessa? Isn't that where you were? Didn't you go down there to Baltimore and have big fun, Vanessa? Tell me, didn't you go for big fun?
Theo and the Kids, Part 1 and 2, Season 7, Episodes 25 and 26. While Theo assumes he'll mainly be focused on offering basic support to his charges during his pediatric psychology internship as a 7th grade junior counselor in an after-school program, he quickly realizes that many of them are dealing with serious issues. In the first part of this 2-part episode, one student, Stanley, played by Merlin Santana, reminds him of himself when he was younger, defensive about his messy notebook, sloppy handwriting, and slow reading speed. Theo begins to suspect that he has a learning disability too.
Who was Eli Whitney?
He was the guy who invented the cotton engine.
What about Robert Fulton?
He was a steam engine man.
Who was James Madison, Stanley?
He was a president.
The question is, which one of these men is not an inventor?
Eli Whitney, Robert Fulton, or James Madison.
See what I mean? They don't ask some questions right.
In part 2, Theo ultimately persuades Stanley to be tested for dyslexia. A couple of other kids in Theo's care are dealing with more grown-up problems, including one boy who ends up leaving the after-school program to get a job to earn extra money for his family after his father gets laid off, and a girl who takes home the scraps left over from the box lunches the center provides to feed her family. It's more than Theo feels he can handle, but after a talk with Cliff, he decides that he does have the ability to be a great asset to the kids as long as he does his best.